4, 3,
2, 1.
Put everything down and crank your speakers up.
It's time for
The Realest Podcast.
Oh yeah!
We got us a new world champion!
And what is going on, guys? You're listening to the Realest Podcast, and welcome to Monday night, April 10th, Monday Night Raw review. I am joined always by Andrew Bass. Tonight wasn't a bad well, I mean, people will say it was a bad show. On the other hand, I don't know. It was kind of a 50-50 show. Kind of interesting to see what's going to be playing out. What were your thoughts on tonight?
I thought there were some highlights. I mean, it wasn't the most exciting Raw, but it was definitely the Raw that I had to watch. I mean, they made it impossible for me not to watch.
Right.
Because you never knew who was coming over. Like, I thought for sure AJ Styles was coming over, and man, did they really just plunder the SmackDown roster. And they took the Intercontinental Champion. They took Alexa Bliss. They took Mickie James. The Miz Maurice. Who else? Kurt Hawkins. Apollo Crews. Heath Slater and Rhino.
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, with Heath Slater and Rhino, at least in my opinion, it's not that big of a loss. I mean, they've kind of fallen off.
Yeah, but still, you know, it just further adds to the original SmackDown roster they kind of took away from. And like, I was surprised. They're kind of giving away a lot of the feuds, or like the results from some of the feuds. With Bray Wyatt going to Raw, I mean, that was a big shock. That was another person I didn't mention, Bray Wyatt.
I'll be honest with you, and this is what I do not like about this so far, is we are seeing... What's up, Michael? I will get to what you just said in the comment section in just 1 second. I'm wanting to say this first. We are seeing what... I mean, in all honesty, we're seeing feuds where feuds are supposed to happen basically just get marked.
Right, like another one was Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin. And apparently that's over with now.
Well, we don't know that 100%, but we're assuming so, yeah. Because I'm on the same page, like, well, didn't this just happen? Why would we end that, you know?
Right, and that was a really good thing, I thought.
Absolutely, I did too. I thought, well, I wouldn't say that it was a great thing or a good thing, because I honestly thought that it should have already happened. Everything should have already happened, you know? I will say that they have a lot going on. You know, they have a lot to explain, basically. I don't know, but let's look at the comments. Michael says, and this is also true, as a SmackDown child, I will say the SmackDown is going to win the shake-up. We keep our upper and mid-card, saved American Alpha, Becky, and we're going to get more. Charlotte is definitely going to SmackDown. That is true. That loss kind of made that pretty obvious. For Forensics, 1, she has nothing to do, and 2, she was wearing all blue. That was a teaser. That's not necessarily the truth. She's worn that blue outfit a lot. I wouldn't go off and say that just because she's wearing that blue outfit.
I definitely think that there's a good, strong possibility that she will be going to SmackDown. I also think that Sasha might go to SmackDown. So it'd be interesting to see that.
Yeah, they sort of kind of like showed, interest toward a heel turn with her, but then like that's when Alexa came out, because I was like, uh-oh, because she's like, well, that's over now, and I was like, oh,
okay,
so but it that kind of got scratched with what ended up happening after that, with Alexa Bliss, Mickie James coming out, and then Nia Jax just destroying all of them. Way to make your talent look good from the get-go, right?
Yeah, Mickie James just got destroyed, demolished.
Everybody but Alexa Bliss got destroyed, which
she had to expect.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax are kind of like best friends, IRL. But if I'm not mistaken, Miz and Maurice are now. So does Dean Ambrose. I mean, like, it kind of makes you assume that with the Intercontinental Championship going to Raw, that we're more than likely going to see Kevin Owens go to SmackDown.
Which I'm cool with. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think Kevin Owens needs a new start.
And they hinted towards Sami Zayn possibly going over, which I really do hope for his sake. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, no, keep him on Raw now after what we just saw. I mean, like, especially with Ty Dillinger there. Ty Dillinger and Shinsuke. If you put Sami Zayn on SmackDown, I feel like he's not going to have any room there. Because I feel like even with the changes that we had here, I feel like the SmackDown roster is still kind of stacked. Um,
Oh,
I,
I wouldn't say that.
you lost most of your heels. You lost most of your heels, which means you're probably getting some strong heels in return.
Well, I mean, looking at it heel wise, who's there to grab? You get Kevin Owens, but as of right now, he's a mid card talent. Technically, your number one heel right now is AJ Styles. And I mean, after Payback, which this I'm also confused. Is Payback's a Raw exclusive pay per view, right?
I thought so, but they made it sound like the House of Horrors match is going to be
Yeah.
at Payback.
That's also something I'm confused about. I thought that was supposed to be.
I'm guessing it's a dual pay-per-view because of what's going on with the shakeup. They only have 2 weeks to prepare for the feuds.
Imagine if Dean went back to SmackDown. I don't know. I kind of thought of it all as lackluster with how it went today.
Yeah. I mean, like, once you announce that somebody's on a different roster, that's what's going to happen. It's not going. There's going to no switchbacks. I mean, and they finally brought Kalisto over to the Raw division for the
That was good.
cruiserweights.
Apollo Crews also, which I think is good for him. He needed a change badly. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people can agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like other than that, I can't think of who else. Who else came over from Smack? I mean, they have Roman Reigns, Rip. Yeah, with what happened to Roman, that was golden.
Oh, that was a great confrontation there.
Yeah. They should have done the old format when the roster fought each other, and the loser had a member of his or her brand leave randomly. I mean, I like what they're doing now. It's just I don't know. I like and dislike it at the same time. I don't like how just out of nowhere somebody. It's just like, oh, they're here now. It's just like they randomly showed up. A part of Raw now.
Yeah, I mean, like, and the other thing that really like took away from this Raw, I thought, was that they really didn't get a chance to further feuds today because nothing's certain. I mean, the only thing you can really consider as furthering a feud would be Strowman and Reigns at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is like, oh, okay, well, we're here now.
Yeah.
But why would you put Bray on Raw? Why would you split him and Orton up when Orton was supposed to be building him up?
I don't know.
I'm
but,
so confused with
makes
that.
But here's the thing: that makes it very obvious that Orton's not going to win. That Orton's going to retain the title. So everything momentum wise that Bray had is gone.
How about that? Like, seriously, how about that?
Like, and you can't disagree with that. Everything that he's built up now is basically gone.
No, I mean, unless he somehow wins a championship. But at that point, it's like, why would you switch the Universal Championship to SmackDown? You know?
You can't do that.
I think they need to keep certain titles on certain brands.
Oh, like I said from the get-go, I don't think any of the titles should have been up on the up for grabs in this shakeup.
No, but like right away we saw Dean Ambrose go over. I was surprised by that one. Like I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised because I know I sent you a few texts and I said that Dean Ambrose should be over at Raw, but I didn't think that they were going to do it. You know, I thought that was sort of like an empty promise of sorts.
Well, I do think that but Bray to Raw was was the random pick WWE needed for a shakeup. I can't really get behind everything that they've made.
No, not right now at this point. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like Michael is saying, I do agree. SmackDown really did get to keep a lot of their major stars.
Yeah, they got to keep Shinsuke. They got to keep
Which, if I'm not
AJ
mistaken, from what
Styles,
I'm hearing, they're wanting Shinsuke to be the guy that basically takes over for John Cena in his
which I'm
slot.
okay with. I'm okay with.
Bray versus Finn will be amazing. Well, we also can't forget there's still the possibility that Finn could end up going to SmackDown. Imagine that, Finn, AJ, and if the club, Anderson and Gallows, which I think they need to go over there badly.
Yeah.
I think that would benefit them a lot if they were to switch over.
Well, it's needed. They need to get a new image. Go to have them go to a different brand and kind of dominate there would really set them on the right motion to really fix what's been wrong with them as of late.
Finn being on SmackDown wouldn't bury Raw. I mean, imagine it. Just look at it right now. You have Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Finn Balor. That's 4 faces, and those are 4 top faces. You don't need that. And as of right now, SmackDown only has 2, and Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura.
And I mean, you could throw Ty Dillinger in there, but he's not a main face.
No,
I mean, he has the
If you don't
potential,
watch NXT, you don't know who he is,
right?
and that's the problem. Is if you don't watch NXT, that's where the issue comes on. But I think.
But I
Finn
mean,
going over
couldn't you
there-
argue the same for Shinsuke though?
Well, here's the difference between Ty Dillinger and Shinsuke. Shinsuke was an NXT champion. Ty Dillinger's never been an NXT champion, and Ty Dillinger is, on a huge losing streak. So
Right.
you really can't go off and say, well, it is Ty Dillinger. I mean, for
Yeah,
us,
that's true.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen more commercials of it with Shinsuke there than I have with commercials with Ty Dillinger there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Ty Dillinger stays on SmackDown. SmackDown is a good move. But yeah, I do think that Finn going to SmackDown would be even a good move also. Because look, they're wanting him to be a top guy. As of right now, there's nothing for him on Raw. There's absolutely nothing for him. Like, think about it. What is on Raw for him? He can't go for the Universal title because that's obviously secured by Roman Reigns at one point. Are you really going to have Finn's really first big loss be to Brock Lesnar? I mean, no offense to Finn, but Finn hasn't been built up to be that yet. To even go up against them. Are you really going to put him at the mid card? Because obviously either Kevin Owens or Dean Ambrose or Kevin Owens is more than likely going to leave. So are you really going to switch that up already?
He's kind of in limbo right now.
Yeah, he's in a situation where he's in a situation where it's like, no matter what he really does here. Well, like I said, I think SmackDown's his best bet. There's just nothing for him on Raw. There is Dana could be one of the 2 women to go to SmackDown. I think she has potential. No, she hasn't shown me anything to even show anything. Imagine Sasha and Charlotte go to SmackDown, one wins the title, and they continuously flip-flop it. Well, I don't think SmackDown, creative-wise, will do that.
No, they haven't shown any signs of doing that, and that's something that we got to keep in mind. That it's still the same writing staff, so it's not something that we should expect out of them. But I like the idea that they're doing this shakeup. I do. I really want to make sure these rosters are balanced because before we were saying how much Raw was going to kick SmackDown's ass, and that was not the case. And a lot of that goes to the writing staff that really kept them together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know if Sasha and Charlotte go. Like I said, I do not see them doing that. I think that'd be their worst move or worst mistake to do that. So yeah. I don't know, man. Anything else catch your eye?
Not really. I mean, in the general idea of what's been going on, it's pretty much been the same things.
We saw Nia Jax destroy not destroy, but she beat Charlotte, which again puts Charlotte in sort of a situation to where it's kind of obvious that she's going to be switching over, and if Charlotte does switch over, not a bad move. Charlotte needs it, but again, I'm going to say this: I am not sold on Nia Jax. I absolutely thought she looked horrible today. Absolutely, I thought she looked terrible today. And 100%, and everybody here, people might not agree with me. That's the next number one contender for that title.
You have to. If you keep having to run through everybody, it's time. But you got to have a plan for her afterwards, because as of right now, it doesn't look like you have a plan for her other than her to just dominate.
Yeah. I'm just not impressed. It was a very sloppy match by them. The Revival and the New Day were sloppy, but I mean, the Revival, in my opinion, are without a doubt the best tag team in the world.
Now, that's a question. Does the writing staff really impact them that much? I mean, because they were great in NXT, so, like, what's going on right now?
Well, I mean, they've only been here for 2 weeks. It's kind of hard to, just sit here and say, well, what have they done, We really can't sit here and say that yet,
Right.
Because it is way too soon to do that. Way too soon to say, well, what's going on with them? I mean, if we did that, that's kind of, in my opinion, that's overboard. That's too soon, and I think that would be a problem, in my opinion, if we did that. So again, just give them time. Let's see what can happen. Let's see what they can do.
Right.
I mean, with how talented they are in the ring, I think that eventually they should be the number one contenders for that tag team championship. If you ask, I mean, see, this is the part where I'm like, man, because the Hardys are the number one. The Hardys are the tag team champions.
Yeah, they are.
Do you want the Revival to be the team that beats them?
No. Yes. No and yes. A part of me, no. Part of me, yes, because of the Revival.
I'm so up in the air about it. Other than that, it's just, I mean, let's see what happens, I think that's where this could potentially bite SmackDown in the butt.
How so?
Well, I mean, you have the Revival. Again, in my opinion, I think that they are the best tag team in the world. And the Hardys are the number one, or your number one. They're the best tag team on the planet right now, or you're on the Raw Tag Team Champions. So, if they are your top guys, are you really going to? Could Roman turn heel? No, Roman's not turning heel at this point. No, Roman's not going to turn heel.
No. Why would they make it wait so long if that were the case? Mm-hmm. I think that ship has sailed at this point.
No, they want him to be top guy, and they're going to go with it.
It's been really bad. You would think it would have died down by now, but it hasn't. No. How bad the crowd is treating him. Which it hasn't really changed all too much from what he's normally getting. It's just the fans are a lot more aggressive now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they got rid of an icon.
Yeah.
Or he got rid of an icon, and I mean, he's in the ring, playing the, well, I'm the fucking, but he's basically saying it's my fucking yard. Like, who the fuck is anyone to tell me that it's not? I mean, that's really what he's doing. Uh, oh man, but well, I don't know, man. I thought the Braun Strowman and Roman. I thought Braun doing what he did was the best thing of the night. Not out of spite of Roman Reigns, but just in general, I thought that was the best thing that's happened tonight. I thought the Revival looked good tonight. I think the New Day are kind of getting to that point, in my opinion, where there's just no point in having. I think the New Day need to switch. Do they go to?
Yeah, but
Go ahead.
that Kofi's actually hurt, from what I understand. It's not a.
Well,
It's not a joke.
if it's because of if it's because of this little move that the Revival do, then why do they allow them to do it?
Yeah, but I mean the same could be said about Seth Rollins, and the move that he used to injure Finn Balor.
Yeah, but in reality, that is Finn's fault. That was Finn's fault because Finn put his arm around the barricade, which he wasn't supposed to do.
Mm.
So, it honestly and truthfully wasn't even Seth's fault. But Seth, who hurt Sting earlier that year, will get the blame for it.
Right. Which is a shame. It really is, but that's the way we're gonna look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, with this shakeup happening, but I mean, we can get back to Raw. We really haven't even talked about Raw. We've been talking about the shakeup.
The shake-up. Yeah.
Kind of been going in circles about it.
That's because there's just so much that has really happened. Like in terms of the shakeup, like there's so many people that left SmackDown, so it's kind of like, what are we going to expect tomorrow when Raw actually starts coming over?
Yeah, we saw Intercontinental Champion confront The Miz as John Cena, which which got me. Like, it honestly and truthfully got me. I was like, wow, Cena's on Raw again? And I was like, oh, yeah, good job. You got me. Yeah, you got me. The Rival defeated the New Day again. It was sloppy, but then again, with how good that with the Revival and the New Day are in the ring, and how big and good both teams are, absolutely good. It does not hurt them at all. At least in my opinion, it doesn't hurt them. T.J. Perkins defeats Austin Aries and then turns heel. That's something new. I totally forgot about that. That's how slow this show went. T.J. Perkins turns heel. I think it's very good for T.J. Perkins to turn heel. The guys really went stale. Sadly, he's that guy that was there because nobody that WWE wanted would sign. Kota Ibushi, for instance, didn't want to come to WWE. He wanted, if anything, he just wanted to be a part timer. When that's of course something that they did not want. So.
I mean, I don't care if he's face or heel. I want to see more TJ Perkins. I like TJ Perkins.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? If this means that we're going to see more of TJ Perkins, then I'm all for it.
Right. I mean, who knows? Really, it's going to be something good. I think TJ Perkins might get involved somehow in the title match. Do I know what it would be? Of course not. I know that on Monday they were supposed to have a fatal four-way for the Cruiserweight Championship, and they actually scratched it, and Aries was going to take it away. What's next for Roman? Roman versus Braun at Payback. Whoever wins goes against Brock. Yeah, I think that's pretty safe to say that it is going to be Braun versus Roman at Payback. I see some stipulation being involved since a lot of weapons are being used. That's just obviously my opinion. I would put a stipulation there. Do I know what it'll be? Of course not. I don't. Whoever wins faces Brock. I mean, you'd have to say that, because, they recently all just got into it. So it's kind of like, and Braun's over here like, you will be seeing me again and stuff like that. So it's kind of safe to say that that's going to happen.
Yeah, this is a good bet to make. Really, it is. Well, I mean, talking about Strowman, I mean, damn. You know, I haven't seen anything like that since the Big Show. Or was it the Big Show? No, I think it was. No, it was the Big Show. It was either Big Show or Mark Henry. To where they pushed that bus on television a while back. But I mean, yeah, to see Braun Strowman flip that ambulance was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then I like how they proceeded to bring in a very small ambulance. It was like, yeah, he's gonna come flip that too. I mean, if he already flipped the big one, what makes you think he isn't gonna flip the little one?
Yeah.
Come on, people.
Um. Michael says, I don't understand why people pay money to go to a show and not make any noise. Well, when it's boring, I would assume that it's hard to, I mean, if I was bored, I wouldn't be making any noise. If I'm being, like, honest with you. I mean, I went to WrestleMania and I made noise at certain points, but I mean, I'm not gonna make noise if I'm not interested in the show. Who do you think wins between Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns at Payback? Roman Reigns, because next year's WrestleMania will be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. They will be in that for either a title or they'll be wrestling. So just be ready for that. That's gonna happen, and I can honestly and truthfully see Roman winning that without a doubt.
Right.
Kurt Angle reveals Seth Rollins' fate as if it was like up in question, which I really don't understand why they did that. I know that it's rumored to have Kurt Angle and Triple H at some point wrestling. Nia Jax defeats Charlotte Flair, and once again I thought was absolutely sloppy. It was not that good at all, in my opinion. By either of them. I've seen Nia Jax in better wrestling matches, and then, again, I've seen Charlotte in way better matches. Finn Balor beats Jinder Mahal, which if he didn't, I would have been concerned. Sami Zayn defeats The Miz. Don't understand that. The Miz coming with all the heel heat and all the heel momentum that he's had gets defeated by Sami Zayn. Does Sami Zayn go to SmackDown? I hope so. The guy really needs that break. Braun Strowman attacks Roman Reigns. Best part of the night, 100%. And then we see the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Hardy Boys, Cesaro and Sheamus, defeat Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and the Shining Stars. Part of me likes this, but at the same time, part of me doesn't like this. I like that we don't see a one-on-one match between someone like, like we usually do back, just a couple weeks ago, where you'd see Carl Anderson going one-on-one with somebody, stuff like that. I'm glad that that's not happening because I hated that. Absolutely hated seeing a champion getting beat or a challenger getting beat. But then again, I'm not a big fan of seeing, teams go face off against, team up, because usually it doesn't end well. And then usually when it doesn't end badly, it's kind of weird because just think about it. We saw Cesaro and Sheamus basically, yeah, man, you guys celebrate, good job, yeah, good job, and we're just like, okay, cool. Alexa Bliss confronts Bayley and Sasha, which, I mean, she delivered a great heel promo, and of course the crowd agreed with her, saying that what they're doing is kind of weird and it's kind of cringeworthy. Absolutely loved it. And then the Intercontinental Champion defeats the U.S. Champion, Kevin Owens. So a lot of the defeats you see today are kind of make it safe to assume that everybody that was beaten, Kevin Owens, who else? Because there's one more, Charlotte, stuff like that. We could easily see those moving up brands.
I don't like the idea that they lost, though.
I mean, you can't have, your person on your brand lose,
Yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of like, oh, we're just giving you our damaged goods. They used to be good, but now we're giving them to you. Congrats.
Yeah. I mean, is there really anything else that you want to really hit on? Let me look at the comment section real quick. So what about SummerSlam? I mean, SummerSlam is just up in the air. I would say.
Oh, you mean Summer Survivor Series?
Yeah. SummerSlam, I don't know. At this, I if they're gonna do Roman versus Brock, I mean, we could see Roman versus Brock at SummerSlam. And don't forget, I did say that Roman would be somehow involved in that title picture at SummerSlam. So easily, I could see Roman and Brock wrestling, but you also could see Brock and somebody else wrestling. Bliss shouldn't be talking smack. She's on Raw now. What about Kevin Owens versus Chris at Payback? I mean, again, Chris Jericho is going to be touring with Fozzy and I think recording a new album with Fozzy. So, I mean assuming that he does go to SmackDown, it's safe. Again, it's safe to say that that he's gonna win that with everything that's being out there in the public. Bliss move to Raw was at perfect time. Yeah. I mean, I think Bliss going to Raw is a good move, personally, because I don't think there's anything else for her on SmackDown. The current champion she's lost to twice now. What else is she gonna do? Nothing for her.
Right.
You guys sound bored and tired. I'm not bored. I've been sick the past few days, so I'm still getting over that. I've had like super crazy headaches.
And I am tired, but definitely happy to be here.
Yeah, I mean, I could be doing 100 different things. I'd rather be doing this. It's just, Raw really didn't give us a lot to talk about other than the shakeup. I mean, storyline-wise, it's kind of like, whoa. SmackDown is the cure. Absolutely. That's 100% what I look for in curing headaches.
Oh, yeah. I'm always excited for SmackDown Live. I mean, they always give me a reason to get excited for SmackDown Live.
Which, just letting everybody know, we are actually, Andrew and I are actually in the talks of going to Survivor Series together. And tickets are actually kind of cheap, too. So we actually might be doing that. That's a long ways away, though.
It's a possibility. Anything could happen.
There's potential out there.
There's potential. Oh, well, guess it's not happening now. That magic word.
Yeah. But I do think that's going to do it. I mean, obviously, it sounds like we're not too terribly interested, but we are. I promise. I do think that we should end it on that note. Tomorrow night, the SmackDown portion of the Superstar Shakeup will happen. So until next time, peace out.